My name is Munisa, and we are a group of three, Jenny, Elizabeth, and me. Today we will talk about the effect of nutrition during pregnancy on fetal development and why it is important. Nutrition is indeed one of the most influential non-genetical factor on fetal development. Maternal body stores nutrition and nutrients delivered to fetus through placenta. Prenatal nutrition influences fetal growth, normal development of physiological function, and gestational weight gain. Gestational weight gain, known as GWG, is a complex progression that supports fetal growth and development. Poor nutritional intake after periconceptional period during pregnancy can negatively impact fetus and lead to fetal growth restriction or lead to abnormalities. So the purpose of our today's project is to determine what kind of nutrition is important during pregnancy and why they are important. Eating well is the best thing anybody can do during pregnancy. Good nutrition helps to handle extra demands as pregnancy progresses. There's no magical diet for perfect healthy pregnancy. However, the diet still remains the same. Pregnant women should take enough, get plenty of fruits, vegetables, good fats. However, some nutrients deserves a special attention. One of them is folic acid, or they call it folate or vitamin B9. And here's a structural formula of folate or folic acid. The only difference between folate or folic acid is folate, vitamin B9, is naturally present in food, when folic acid is synthetically made to serve as a supplement. And a low level of folate in human's body can lead to different abnormalities. One of them is neutral tube defect. According to Dr. Laura Venice, she's also a registered nutritionist. She states that the low level of folate in babies leads to NTDs or neutral tube defects. That happens when in first trimester of pregnancy, pregnant woman does not take enough folate and neutral tube does not close properly. And in order to avoid that, pregnant women should take at least 400 milligram folic acid per day to decrease the risk of getting NTDs in babies. Also, folate or folic acid helps the human body to make red blood cells. So red blood cells, as we know, it delivers oxygen to all part of our body or tissues. So if a human body does not produce enough red blood cells, then it leads to anemia. In order to avoid it, we have to take folic acid. And also, people who have anemia, their body does not work properly as it should. Another doctor, Marzi Arban, and his colleagues state that low level of folic acid lead to increased cancer risk. Their research discovered complicated or conflicted findings. So low level of folate associated with cancer risk, many cancer risks. However, extreme usage of folic acid leads to autism spectrum disorder. So Dr. Arban recommends pregnant women to take no more than 400 milligrams of folic acid per day.
Hi, my name is Elizabeth Reasoner, and I'll be discussing the good foods you should eat while pregnant, the bad foods you want to stay away from while pregnant, and the effects it's going to have on your fetal development. One food that you should stay away from definitely is high mercenary fish. It has high toxic levels that are caused by the polluted waters that the fish are kept in before they're caught. And it can actually be toxic to your nervous and immune system and your kidneys. So that's one food that you should stay away from. But an alternative to that is the low mercenary fish. The low mercenary fish is actually filled with omega-3 fatty acids, which is very good for you and your baby while pregnant. And you can actually eat that up to 3 times per week while pregnant, and the doctor said it's all right. No matter how little you eat of the high mercenary fish, it's still going to be very toxic to you and your baby. Another topic I wanted to discuss, another food, is going to be caffeine. I know a lot of people love to drink caffeine on a daily basis, but it's very bad while you're pregnant. The doctors actually say you're only allowed to drink, if you're going to drink caffeine at all while pregnant, you can only drink under 200 milligrams of caffeine per day. It can actually, if you drink more than that, it can actually cause the baby to have low birth weight, which the low birth weight can actually cause you to may have a miscarriage, and it can actually restrict the baby's growth. The third topic I'm going to discuss is alcohol syndrome, which is caused by drinking alcohol while pregnant. No matter how much alcohol you drink, your baby is very prone to get alcohol syndrome, heart defects, and even have a negative result on the brain development while pregnant. So that's why doctors tell you to stay away from alcohol altogether. And those are the 3 things that you should stay away from. The positives, the alternatives I should say, are going to be the low mercenary fish, and always drink water. Water is very good for you. It'll stop your, it'll help prevent, I should say, constipation, because constipation is very known while you're pregnant. Also, it can prevent UTIs, help prevent UTIs, because UTIs are also common while pregnant. And of course, you got to stay hydrated while you're pregnant, because you're drinking not only for yourself, but for the baby inside of you too, and you want to keep the baby hydrated. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Jenny Prasad, and I'm a student at Eastern Florida State College. I'm in a lab group with Munisa and Elizabeth, and today we'd like to talk to you about something you do every single day that can impact not only you, but future generations as well: eating. For the purposes of our discussion today, we'd like to focus in on maternal nutrition. We often hear the phrase eating for 2 when a woman is pregnant. We know she needs extra energy to support the growing life inside of her. However, that extra energy often comes in the form of pure extra calories rather than quality nutrition. Let's focus in on iron for a few minutes. The global prevalence of iron deficiency during pregnancy is 38%. When you consider the long-term effects of this, that should be scary. Iron serves as a cofactor in enzymes involved in the cholesterol and lipid synthesis. Those are necessary components for myelin production. Myelin is basically a nice roll of protein and lipids that wraps around the axons of neurons. That wrapping around the axons of neurons insulates the neurons and allows electrical signals to flow through neurons more efficiently. During development, iron also becomes involved in redox reactions, which allows it to function in both oxygen transport and energy production. Between these and other factors, it becomes clear that iron deficiency during pregnancy can lead to cognitive deficits, slow language and motor development, lower IQ, and behavioral issues. One of the solutions we have is biofortification. biofortification is the process in which we enrich crops with selective breeding, agronomic practices, and biotechnology. Biofortified crops are proven to improve nutrient levels, including iron, after we eat them. However, biofortification can also be controversial. You may have heard genetic modification demonized in the media by zealots who view it as unnatural. However, we've been improving our agronomic processes for basically as long as we could grow plants. Take crop rotation, for example. Crop rotation is the process in which we rotate which crop is growing in a certain section of a field in order to prime the soil for the next crop that's going to be there and have the necessary nutrients that crop needs to grow its best, biggest, and most nutritious. A newer version of biofortification includes seed priming. Seed priming is where we take wheat seeds and soak them in a solution with iron oxide nanoparticles so that they are primed to take up more iron during their growth. Biofortification can make nutrients more accessible to both us and populations in need. So, my call to action to you today involves two things. First, look up a micronutrient and look up the recommended value for it and try to track how much you get of it every day. You might be surprised on how undernourished you are. And number two, next time you hear genetic modification or biofortification, understand that the science behind it is great and it can do a lot of good for you and our future generations. Thank you.